What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today, MSTR. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it. We had a hell of a day yesterday. No pun intended, because it took us way down, right? We dropped about 9%, 9.5%, sitting at prices now at $349. It's not what I was expecting personally, but I'm not worried about it. And I want to say before we get into the meat of this video, this is a prime opportunity to buy. I don't think that this is a reason to panic at all. And I think it's just, again, the exact word I would use is opportunity is what this is, okay? What I was expecting was that from these lows here that we would probably find support somewhere in this like 370 to 390 area, right? Something here, and then go up. We didn't. We broke out. We broke out pretty significant candle there, 9.5% to the downside. It's a pretty big candle given this range here. And the amount of volume we had was some of the lowest volume we've seen. So we had a pretty significant move with very insignificant volume. You can see the histogram, right? These little like lines that come up above the volume, through the volume. You can't really see it so much with these ones because they're above the histograms, which are down here. That's the average volume. So whenever you see these little lines poking above the bars and the volume, that means it was below average volume, which is exactly what this move was, right? Let's see if we can kind of go forward and just, let me show you here, right? So you're moving up here. You're moving up, you're seeing higher highs, and your volume's dying off. At your absolute high here, you had very low volume, right? And so you turned around. When you turned around, you picked up a little bit in volume on your initial sell-off. And then as you got lower, as you got to your bottom, your volume was literally at its lowest points that it could be. You saw a little bit of a spike. It sold 17% to the downside. That's a big candle with below average volume. And not shortly after that, you moved up from your low there at 107. That was April 30th. Within the next month, you were all the way up at 170 bucks, right? And that just very similar, comparable areas that you're in right now, right? Just price-wise. You've moved down. You had a significant move. Volumes died off, though. I would think you're more closer to a low than you are closer to plummeting to your death. But even if you do plummet to your death, the absolute lowest that I would expect MicroStrategy to go to would be somewhere around like 270 to 300. And I feel like that call is much easier to understand now, today. And I did make that call back here, and I did stick to that call for a few days, but we've absolved that call over the past week. I'm sticking with absolving that call. I don't think we go below this line. I think we're in some kind of horizontal channel right now. Perhaps I was looking at it wrong. It almost did look like, it really did look like a pair or a symmetrical triangle. But I think as a horizontal channel, this actually works a lot better. You know, you take that high out of the way, you're getting these resistance points here, these support points here. You really just formed a double bottom. Again, with a pretty significant candle with very insignificant volume. We look at the RSI. You've got lower lows in the RSI. Let's see what you got in the price. You do have lower lows in price, but it's pretty close. Having this much of a lower low in your RSI while having that much of a tie up in price, that is hidden bullish divergence to a degree, as long as tomorrow doesn't close or we don't move lower, right? I would like to see Thursday and tomorrow, like Thursday and Friday, I'd like to see a little bit of recovery if we were to not expect to see these prices below $300. If we continue to bleed tomorrow, if volume picks up and we start to get away from this range, well, who knows, man? By the end of the week, we really could be all the way down there. But the thing is, again, guys, even if we do go that low, even if we hit that low, in a month's time, we'll be back up around the highs, if not even through the highs, right? It doesn't take much time at all for this thing to move up. It's not even Christmas. The end of January targets that I've laid out are $900. Those targets are very much still in effect. And the whole kind of vibe that I've been throwing out there tonight for all my crypto videos, for all my stock videos that are related to crypto is BTFD. If that's your first time hearing that, if you don't know what BTFD is, you might be new to crypto or you might be new to stocks, but BTFD is a little phrase we like to say whenever we want to not say buy the effing dip, right? Buy the dip, right? That's that F word, BTFD. Buy the effing dip, man. Here we are, finding resistance at the golden extension, the 1618, and finding support on the 1414. You guys, this is really bullish stuff as long as we don't go below the 1414. If we do go below the 1414, likely we would go all the way to the 1272 based off of this fib. And that actually would take us all the way down to like 245, which is completely possible. You guys, the reality of it is MicroStrategy could drop $100 from here It could, before Christmas, be at 245, and then by the end of January it could be worth $1,000. It could see that kind of volatility right now because Bitcoin's in that kind of phase of volatility as well. However, I don't expect that it does. I'm only talking about the downside, not because I'm expecting it, but because if it happens, I don't want anybody to panic sell. I really don't want to see anybody who sells between now and down there. If it were to happen, which I don't think it does, but if it were to happen, you're making a bad decision, right? It's the same people that like sold maybe from like once you move down here, once you broke out of this consolidation phase here, anybody that sold here or down in this area, you made a bad decision, right? Here we are in this consolidation phase. You broke out to the downside, so you sold. If we're in this consolidation here and we break out and you sell there, it's the same thing. It's bad, right? Don't do that, right? All that to say though, likely, as long as we're finding support on the 1414, we're safe. And even if we're not safe, we go all the way down to find support on the 1272. The next target still remains the 1886 up here. Okay? When we do find support and get above that 1618, when we do find support and get above that 1618, however it looks, however it takes to get there, the 1886 all the way up here is at about $995, right? That's what that extension is. And I'm not changing my prediction. It's going to be at $994 or higher, at least around there, by the end of January. That's my expectation. I'm not shaken out by this at all, man. I'm not shaken out at all. Anybody who is shaken out by this, my question, actually, I'm going to look at the camera right now. I'm going to talk to you right now. Anybody out there who is worried about the price for MicroStrategy right now, I'm going to guess a wild guess here, okay? And if I'm right, maybe that says something to my experience in the markets. If you're worried about the price of MicroStrategy right now, I'm guessing it is your first time investing, or it's your first crypto cycle. Maybe you've invested in stocks before, but you've never invested in crypto. I'm going to guess that this is somewhat of a first time experience for you. Okay. Maybe it's your first year. Maybe it's your first cycle. You've been invested for 3 years, but this is your first cycle still, right? That's just my guess. If anybody is panicking down here that has been around for more than one cycle in crypto, I would be a little bit surprised, but not completely surprised. It happens, right? I mean, we dropped off and we weren't expecting it to happen. I definitely wasn't expecting that you would go this low, but it happened. But as you become more seasoned, as you get some years under your belt doing this stuff, and I've got 8 myself of doing technical analysis, you kind of, you don't look at these moments as negative moments anymore. When you start seeing them as opportunities for exactly what they are, right? That's what they are. People have it backwards, and I said this in my grayscale video that I just made, right? People tend to be the most euphoric at the highs and the most bearish at the lows, right? It's like you can't see the future at the lows, but that's the most ideal time to buy. And then you only see the future at the highs, but that's the most ideal time to sell. Right now, I feel like we're in one of those moments where the whole market, anybody involved with MicroStrategy, they're probably feeling it in their chest right now, and not in a good way. They're feeling it in their stomach. They feel bad, right? But if you've been around for a couple of cycles, at least a few years, this is a walk in the park. This isn't anything, man. A 9% drop on a day, 2 weeks from now, it'll be a 20% pump overall or more, you know what I mean? So I'm just rambling at this point, guys. I'm not really saying anything or offering anything other than just kind of a pep talk. But all in all, daily RSI is cooled well the hell off. It's really cooled well the hell off. You've got these lower lows coming in on the RSI here. Look at this, right? Just like right on trend. You're basically at the 40 on your daily RSI, which is a good area to find support. If you were to go lower, it's not going to be by much. At least I don't think it is. Weekly RSI is cooled way the hell off. Still looks bullish. I don't know, man. I'm not worried about this at all. Let's finish the video. Hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll finish the video with this real quick. Oh, somebody, man, who was it? Hold on real quick, guys. Hold on real quick. If you made it this far, man, you deserve it. Let me see. I need to get a shout out to somebody real quick. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, here you are. That gamer you don't know 2152. This part's for you, okay? You wanted me to go over the ribbons. So on TradingView here, if you're on TradingView and you have the premium, you have to have the premium because they don't let you have multiple, like more than 3 indicators up if you don't have the premium. But you go to indicators. No, I'm sorry. You go to this little 4 square. You click on the 4 square. You click on open template. Here it says recently used, so I already have it, but you click on open template. You go to technicals and MA exponential ribbon. If you ever want to get your own templates, you just have to like download the code and put it in there. It's free. You just got to input it yourself, which isn't hard to do. It sounds harder than it is, but it really actually is not hard to do at all. Just like YouTube, how to do it, I'm not the guy that makes those videos for that, but there's somebody out there that does. Anyways, you do MA exponential ribbon. You click that, and there's your ribbon. I like to make sure it's in log. Whenever you click your ribbon, the volume changes colors and it changes like transparency, so it's a little bit less visible. So if you want to change it, you can always go through and change it. But you're probably not using the ribbon to look at the volume anyways, so you know. But then I also like to have it in log because it takes out a log as well. So here we are, guys, looking at the ribbon. And I said it, man. I said it. It looked like we were bouncing here, right? Not bleeding in, but now that we're bleeding in, oftentimes when you do bleed in, you do actually look to go below the ribbon. So this ribbon actually is more of a case, I would say, for this gap being filled at about 275 to 290. The way that we're interacting with the ribbon now. But not every time you bleed into the ribbon do you cross below it, right? Not every time do you. Let's try and find an example of that here. This might be one of those moments that bites me in the ass, kind of. I mean, here you bled into it and then you went up, but inevitably still went below before you went higher, right? Here you're bleeding into it. You had to go below before you went higher. Okay, here, kind of an opposite perspective, but here you bled into it and then you went lower instead of going higher, right? So that's kind of a good, but you did actually even there go through the ribbon, didn't you? Kind of bleeding into it here and then rejecting when it's very expanded. And there too, let's just see, let's go back, let's see, what are we pretty expanded right now on the daily? We are. So the more expanded it is, the more likely it finds support. I don't know, man. Even with the ribbon, it's very possible, I'll give it to you, it's very possible that we could go to these lows with the ribbon, but even with that, I'm not convinced that we do. Weekly looks good too, man, but if you went all the way down, all you do to fill that gap, you touch this area. I mean, there's the ribbon, if anything, is actually more of a case to go down than it is of a case to go up. But I'm looking death in the face here and saying, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Until you're below 340, I'm going to stand firm in saying I don't think you go lower. You get below 340, I'll shake in my boots. I'll come out with an apology letter. But even then, right, it's not going to be that big of a deal, guys. It really is not going to be that big of a deal at all. What low is that? That's your, what is that there? It's at 399, 339, I'm sorry. So that's basically the 40. That's the 40 EMA. Okay. I was just saying if it was like a significant EMA. The 40 is not that significant, but anyways, for that gamer you don't know or that gamer I don't know, to do this, you just click templates here, open template, it's there, right? And you can adjust the parameters yourself. But I think I've said everything I need to say, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Don't panic. Even if we go lower, even if we go lower, it won't be for long. It'll be an opportunity to buy, definitely not an opportunity to sell, okay? If anybody's expecting, I keep saying that I'm done with the video, but I'm not done with the video, damn it. If anybody is expecting the price to go down here, right? If you're at the lows of this horizontal box and you're thinking that the price is going to go down here and you're thinking, now I should sell, that's a bad idea. Because you're actually at a point of support. You're at a point where if you sold here, you're more likely to go up here, I think, than you are to go down here, right? You want to sell just in case it goes lower, but the thing is, what if it goes higher, right? Like the upside potential, I promise you, demolishes the downside potential, especially because that downside, if it came by the end of December, would likely be eaten back up. We'd probably be at new all-time highs. Even if that happened before Christmas, we'd be at new all-time highs by the end of the month, and certainly going into the end of January. So it's, even with this being a possibility, it's not worth the risk to sell. If we were up here, if we were at the tops and you wanted to play this game, okay, it's probably more feasible to sell there, right? It's not feasible to sell here. You missed your chance to sell. So if you sell here, you're not only playing the game, which is risky in itself, but you're playing the game when you're already down a hand. It's not good, man. It's not good. You're coming in automatically at a deficit here. So don't, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but please don't sell here. Please don't sell below. If anything, this is a really good area to buy. Buy the dip. BTFD is the message of this video. It truly is. And even if it goes lower, you can always buy more, or you can just close your eyes, hold your breath for a day or two, and then boom, we're back at new all-time highs, man. It's really going to be that simple if it even happens at all. We might not drop that low, but I digress. I'm talking. I'm done talking. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.